Yeah. So last training we discussed some basic things in content server with respect to the adding of a document, downloading of a document, reserving a document, browsing through the folder structure, editing the permissions, right, and understanding the groups and the subgroups as well as the sub-users, right? So, and also the global menu, which is listed here, where this is listed as a enterprise-wide workspace where all the users, their permissions to see this page. Sorry, this is not enterprise workspace, this is the enterprise workspace. And then there is a personal workspace, this one, right? So this is the page where all the users normally log in. This is the landing page essentially for all the users. And but beyond this page, the permissions are maybe different for different departments here. And depending on the permissions, users may navigate to only some of these folders rather than all of them. But since I'm an admin, so if you see the loading user is listed here, admin. So that's where I am able to see all the departments and I have full permissions to open them or browse through them or edit anything there. Okay. So let me go back to the personal workspace and let me try to create another user, which is essentially not an admin user. So as to understand how the user's behavior changes with respect to what is visible here for different users. Okay, so let me go to enterprise users. And let me create a new user. Okay, add new user. Okay, so let me create an new user. Okay, and then department, I will assign it to default group. And this default group is essentially a group created by while installation of the content server. Okay, same thing is the admin user, the one which I'm logged in. So admin user and the default group both are created at the time of installation of content server. Because if you don't have a user and a group, right, then how will the content server even start getting logged in, right? Just like we need a God, right? God or Allah to be present there, right? Before he can create other people, right? Same way we need somebody who is already created and then he can create other users and groups. Okay, so let me give some password here. Okay, and then okay. Here we can provide the email as well. Let me put my email ID here. Okay. And essentially only these two permissions I'm granting because this is supposed to be a normal user. Without public access, this user cannot navigate to the enterprise workspace, this one, okay? So if I don't give this, then the user may get logged in, but he may not be able to see the enterprise workspace. And if I make this, then he will not be able to log in. The user will be there, but he cannot log in at all, okay? Okay, so I cannot create a user like this. Okay, so what we will do is there is another way to create a user. So let me go to okay. So we have a OTDS here. So directory services, directory services. So this directory service is basically an interface between the content server and the Active Directory. So Active Directory is essentially a directory of users and the departments which normally all the clients they keep. So let's say my name is this one, okay? Sorry, not this one. So this is essentially coming from the Active Directory. My name, my title, my phone number, my location, my department, right? These are all the necessary things which are coming from the Active Directory, right? Automatic. The same Active Directory, whatever users are there, right? They can get imported to content server through the directory services, which is also called otds, okay? So that is the interface between the directory of users and the content server, okay? So that is that directory is also called LDAP, and this is what is the first, the primary place where all the users and groups are stored. The one I showed you, right? My name and my title, these things are stored all there, right? And then the data service interface, which imports all these things from there, and then let it create in the content server or somewhere else. So there are different products we have. One is the content server, which is the ECM. Then we have other products, BPM, Discovery, CEM, right? So these also can get those users from there. Automatically the permissions and everything, groups, department, everything is coming from here up to all of these products, okay? So now let me show you the user and the group, okay? And then let me show you the resources. So we have the OTCS resource, okay? And then in the OTCS resource, we have the partitions. So, okay. So these are the contents of our members. Let me view members here. Okay. Let me try to create a user here. Okay. No users. So we are creating the user here so that it can easily go to content server. So the flow of creating a user in this case is from here to, and then it will get created later on in the content server. But the other way around was not working when we were trying to create a user here, right? So that's the reason I'm creating it from here. Okay. And email is with the next button here. Yeah, next button is here. I don't want the password to be reset. Okay. Password never expired, and then I'm giving the password here. Okay. Okay. If I check this, the account will get disabled. I don't want the password to change. If I check this, then I cannot change the password ever. So I'm not checking it. And I don't require password change on this side. Okay. The same password should continue. Okay. So that is the reason this configuration is given. So title, state, city, Hyderabad. Okay. The attributes. Okay. Sorry. Next button. Custom attributes. Next. And then with the finish button. And then next and save. Okay. Oh, one uppercase. Okay. So let me go to previous. Okay. Make it capital. Save. So the user has been created here. Okay. Essentially, it should get reflected here also. So if I go to user and groups, user last name is Aziz, right? See, it has been created. Okay. So now I will open another browser. Okay. Okay. This is the URL. And if I click on here, so I can just log in with Aziz, okay? And the password is same. Okay. So now see, I can see some of the folders, but no, not all of them. So we will just try to figure out what folders this Aziz cannot see. Claims, collaboration, commercial line. These are 11 items visible here, 2 admin, right? And these are 10 items, right? So what is the difference between these two, right? So we will try to investigate why which reinsurance is not visible here, right? So we will try to see from my account as to what permissions it has, so that by virtue of which why that user is not having the permissions. Okay. And the reason is, see, so this is A Aziz. If I go to tools, sorry, my account, my group, okay. So I am assigned to all these group, okay, WB my internal and Dev all users, okay, okay. So essentially when you are adding a user in the system, right, to the OTDS, this group gets by default added as a department for it, okay. So, and that is the reason I am able to access many folders, because directly this group has CSing contents in the some of the folders which we saw, right? One of the folders we saw as legal folder, right? There, this has the permission to see and see content, right? So if I make sure about this, then let me control tab, let me duplicate the tab, okay, duplicate the tab, okay, enterprise workflow, okay. So if you see legal, so I had the permission, this Aziz had the permission to only see and see content here, right? So he has nothing to see here, okay. So let me go and to admin account and go to legal department. I can see this contract folder, but why Aziz is not able to see? So in that case, I need to see the permission of this folder, okay. So if I go to this permissions, okay. So ultimately the problem here is the permission for this is different than the permission of the parent folder, okay. So this is the parent. If I go to the permissions for it, I can see internal group is there, right? For the parent folder, and that is the only reason I am able to see the legal, because my account, my user is belongs to this group. I have all the permissions for this group, and this group is already given the CNC content, right? So once I have the CNC content on the legal folder, I can browse through it, right? I can browse and open it. But inside this, I cannot see the child folder, because in the child folder, which is the contract folder, that group is not listed here, right? So that explains the permission part of it. Okay. Now coming to branding of personal account. Okay. So now I have a personal workspace. Okay. Now, if I want to access the personal workspace of this account, okay, so this is the admin account, okay, my workspace, then I go to my folder, okay. So this is my or admin workspace. So this will not be accessible to any other user by default, okay, unless I provide permissions to it, okay. So this is the training folder I created for Aziz, okay. So if I copy this URL, right, this is the unique ID, right, 16548 for this training. So if I copy this, right, just ID, how do I access this ID? I can directly copy it here, right, replace this ID with this ID, okay, and then enter it. The other way around, if I don't know the URL, then I can just do like this, open, and then this one, okay. Sorry, I don't have the permission, so that is the reason it is showing this error, okay. The Aziz does not have the permission, so it's natural. Aziz may not have the permission because nobody has granted a permission. So I need to grant permission to Aziz. Okay. So permissions. Okay. I cannot give public access, but because otherwise everybody will be able to access. So otherwise, if I want everybody in the entire company to be given permission, I could have given here, but I won't give it here. Okay. So I would reset. I will click on this user. Okay. So this user is nothing but granting access to a new user. Okay. And then I will give the permission to Mr. Aziz, Miss Aziz, okay? Last name Aziz. Grant access, submit. So I will just give Aziz a C permissions, okay? Update. So C means she can only see, okay? She cannot do anything else, okay? She cannot open it. So, so insufficient C content access. So she does not have the permission to open it. And the URL says open, right? So let me use shortcut for info. Okay, info she will be able to do. Okay, for info also the same problem, right? So what do I do then? Okay, then I need to basically give the training C content permission. Okay, now I can refresh the page. Okay. So C and C content is necessary to even open the property page of it. Okay, so info is nothing but information about this node, document or a folder. Okay, so if you see all these things are coming from the database. Okay, so this is the very general tab. If you want to go through the properties menu, you can go like the properties and then general. Okay, if you want to go like this. Otherwise, you can just do a info here, info and then the ID, unique ID for it. Okay. So other than that, all these things are basically coming from the I tell you D3 code table. So let me show you from where it is. Okay. Okay. So where the Excel for that. Okay. So let me open up. So this was already discussed. So this is for version table, right? Then let me open the D3 code. So this is the D3 code table. The essential tables are the data ID. Data ID is nothing but the same ID as you see on the this one, right? Nickname. Same ID is up. Then name. This is the name of the node. Okay. Training. Then we have the I think this is the owner ID. The owner ID is nothing but it's not shown up here anyways. And then we have the subtype. Okay, subtype is nothing but this one, folder. Okay, so for folder, the subtype value will be 0. For a document, it will be 144. Okay, so this is folder and this is document. Okay, for the subtype value. Then we have the version number. Okay, version number means it's not applicable for a folder, but it is applicable for a document where we can have multiple versions to a document, right? So if you remember, we had created two versions of one document last time. So in that case, the version number equal to the maximum number, which is equal to 2. Okay. So modified date is nothing but here. Okay, modified by these two fields. Okay, owned by, I think it is the user ID. Okay, and then size is the child count. So where is the child count? Sorry, this is the child count. Okay. This is the total number of document inside this folder. Okay. Basically the children, the count of children. The children can be folders as well. So it has only one item inside the training folder, right? So that the reason show like this. Okay. So another thing is we can have create a lot of shortcuts. Okay. So but I let okay. So now another thing I wanted to show essentially when I open this, right, I will not see anything. Okay. Although I have given CNC content permission, right? Because if I duplicate the tab, for example, right, and I browse through the training folder, I can see document folder, right? Why is the document folder not visible? Okay. So in that case, what I do is I need to grant this CNC content permissions across all the items and sub items. Okay. Update. So it updated 6 items inside it. Okay. 6 items, nothing but you will really get to see what 6 items are there. Okay. So once I'm refreshing the page for Aziz, so Aziz now is able to see the children and the sub children. So this is the child one item. Then we have the 4 items, 4, 5, and then training, all combined 6 nodes, 6 objects. Now I have got the permission to see and see content. Okay. But I cannot delete this. Aziz cannot delete them because if you see this function menu, the delete button is not there, right? It's only basic read only function. Okay, I can only download, I can only document viewer, I can open or download, save to PDF like that. Okay, so these are the only permissions available for Aziz. Okay, now let's say I want to access, I don't want to remember this training ID. Okay, this is where the problem is. Okay, this ID I cannot remember. Okay, how will I access this training folder as a shortcut? Okay, so what I will do is I will go back to the training folder, the admin account. Through the admin account, go to the properties, then general tab, and then I will create a nickname. Okay, this is the nickname. I will change it. Okay, I will make it training. Okay, save. So now instead of that ID, Aziz can simply do like this. Okay, open and then training. Just this one, just sufficient, and then she should be able to open this page. Okay, no need to remember the IDs. Okay, now that is the whole idea about this shortcut to the URL, making and then giving the permissions to the other users, right, to access my folder or my common area, right, and then creating a user we already done, right. Now, let's say I want to do a branding of how it looks like the interface, okay, for Aziz. This looks like an odd behavior, right? So I want to go to my account and settings, okay? I can change the look and feel of it, okay? Even I can make the landing page instead of enterprise as my workspace, okay? Okay, I will show you how it will look like. And then I will go to the colors with the color thing. Okay, discussion. Okay, this is the coloring, okay? So I want to make it a different color, okay? Make it blue, purple, and red, like this, okay? No, this is looking odd. Or like this, okay? Update. So now when I click on this page, right? Up to here, this is the basic URL, okay? It will not go to the enterprise because we made it to redirect to the different landing page, which is my own workspace, okay? But how would I go to the shortcut? So I can go like this, okay? Open training like this, okay? It will go there, okay? But for example, if I don't know this shortcut, right? How would I make a favorite? So in that case, what I can do is in my personal workspace, in the personal workspace of Aziz, I can create a shortcut. How would I create a shortcut? Through the add item. Okay, whatever I want to add, I can add from here, and these are the different things I can create a shortcut here. Okay, and then I can browse. But how would I browse for the folder which is present in some other workspace? Right, that is not possible at all. Okay, or other way around. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, not this way. So what I will do is, so let's say again I click on training. Okay, I can do this way. Okay, make a shortcut from here. Add to favorite. Okay, add to favorite. Okay, okay, that is add to favorite. Then make a shortcut. Sorry, make a shortcut. Okay, so I will make a shortcut in my where in my create in. So this is the location I want to create the shortcut for that training. Okay, I will go to content server Aziz. Okay, like this. So in Aziz personal workspace, I am creating the shortcut for the training folder. Okay. So now this is the shortcut. Okay. Sorry, not this one. No. Sorry, not this one. Go to personal workspace. There you will see it. Okay. See this icon shortcut. So this is not the exact same thing. This is just a shortcut. So if I click on it, it will go to the same folder. Okay. Which is essentially the same folder which we were doing the training, right? We were seeing the 4 documents here, right? Okay, this coloring has already come up. Okay, so that is all about the documents, the interface you can feel, which I can customize while I'm logged in, right? Okay, and then right. So if you see here, I can do I have permission to delete any document here? I don't think so. I cannot delete, right? The button is there, but I cannot delete them. Okay. Okay.